All right, everyone, as predicted, 24 hours later, the legacy media has begun to drag Biden over the scandal regarding classified documents at several storage sites there. Again, the Biden Center at UPenn, not really secure, although, at least it's in an educational facility that has a guard, a mall cop running around, so it's better than nothing, I suppose. Not quite as secure as the Mar-a-Lago, I would note, just to be clear about that comparison. Then another second drop. Again, still don't think we know how many documents they are or what they're pertinent to, but they were in a cardboard box in a garage next to Biden's Ferrari. Sadly, there are pictures of it opened up for the entire world to see, and Hunter had access, so yeah, he might have sold classified material to fund his drug habit or hire more strippers or buy a slave at some private island down in the Virgin Islands or something. They're not exactly sure, but he's on crack all the time, so he may have made a mistake and actually left a paper trail. His laptop ring a bell? It took a hell of a lot of effort by a hell of a lot of people who supposedly are in some cases competitors to squish that story out, by the way. Now, this is from USA Today, link in the description, archived, of course. Now the legacy media is dragging him to it. And again, the other day I pointed out it was possible that what they were going to go with was, number one, because it's kind of untenable. When you've reigned over the rating of the former president, a president who can actually declassify things, by the way, their private residence, because of classified material there, even when they're in cooperation openly with the FBI, Secret Service, etc., which is the case. But then you have a bunch of these documents too, and you wait until right after the election to tell people that the documents exist, and somehow nobody leaked that one, just to be clear. And you get when you get Garland to say, okay, well, I'm going to appoint a preliminary counsel to look into it to see if we need further investigation, but I'm going to limit it to these two groups of documents. When you have that sort of situation, it's difficult to defend Biden. So I think that what some of them are doing now is they're saying, look, and this is not fully coordinated. Part of it is there's an anti-Biden bloc that wants to uniparty it up even more in 24. There are also people that I think are more ideological than anything, so they're not necessarily full Politburo members, but they're basically going to do the same thing. Hard to tell who's who sometimes. They're saying, look, Biden's old, he's feeble, he's becoming a goddamn liability. Now, we're unipartyists. We want Democrats and McConnell-style Republicans to rule the roost forever because it makes us a lot of money. If Biden is the candidate going forward, and if Trump gets in, which he probably would because Biden is fundamentally incapable of even campaigning, that's going to be a big problem. So you kill two birds with one stone. You drag Biden with this. You do everything in your power to get the House to impeach. You drag him. You say, look, we can't have double standards. You put yourself up on a pedestal. You try to take the moral high ground. The public will gobble it up, by the way, and you say, well, while Trump wouldn't take responsibility for his actions, Joe Biden was willing to step down because he realized that he accidentally committed espionage or something like that. Then you end up with Kamala. She probably doesn't run. And then you can mint someone like Hakeem Jeffries or Gavin Newsom, some other standard corporate neoliberal shill who's younger. Probably of those two, Hakeem Jeffries would have the advantage, by the way, over Gavin Newsom. Be funny because Gavin's got a big ego. You know that he wants the position, but if he gets bested, his days in politics would be dark indeed. Oh boy, wouldn't he feel more dour than Hillary Clinton after she was shoved aside by the Obama fringe of the Democratic Party for 2008. That was funny, by the way. Her reaction was not at all pleased, even though she got to be Secretary of State. Benghazi, ring a bell. Anyway, I think that the reason that they're willing, after 2 years of covering for him on virtually everything, the reason why they're willing to drag him on this is because it also would be a good attack on Trump. Let's say that you drag Biden for this and say, well, he stored classified documents, this is terrible. All you have to do is set up a preemptive narrative, which they're already doing, that what Biden did wasn't as bad as what evil Drumfler did. Then you throw Biden under the bus, forcing him aside, force him to either stand down for 24 and say, look, I'll serve out my term, I'm not leaving, but I'm uncomfortable with I've betrayed the American people or something. It'd be self-deprecating or some shit. You shove him aside, whether it's to not run, to resign. He gets impeached and sort of just meanders off into lame duck land or something. Then you start attacking Trump and saying, well, we need closure on this. So then you either you actually are crazy enough to jail Trump, or you say, well, he done goofed. You trot out the DOJ to do a Comey-style thing, and then Biden pardons him or something like that, or Kamala if he's stepped down. That'd be for the unity of the nation. We promise to be unifiers. I liked it. Now, this article even tries to butt cover a little bit in its word couching. If you read through it, you will notice that the language is a little bit of a fluff piece, but they're still dragging him. It's like, Iron Fist in Velvet Glove mode, I suppose. Talking about transparency and how it's become a real problem because the Biden admin on day one said it wanted to be the most transparent. And so this undermines it. Can I ask you something? Why is it that the legacy media is all of a sudden worried about the Biden admin's transparency right after the midterm elections when we've had a dozen other examples of total opacity within the administration? The Afghanistan withdrawal, what happened with the Twitter files, that's been covered multiple times by the legacy media, etc., etc., etc. It's scandal after scandal of the Biden admin not owning up to what it did, not acknowledging reality to the public. Do you remember their cope on inflation? That lasted a long time. I never saw any complaints from the legacy media about transparency there. All of a sudden, it's like a 180. The wind has switched from east to west all of a sudden. Within the course of 48 hours, the entire legacy media has utterly changed its narrative with regards to Joe Biden, transparency, the meaning of classified intel, etc., etc. All of a sudden now it's old man bad. Well, that's very interesting. When I see that coordinated an effort across multiple legacy outlets, multiple political blocs, when it's like night and day, even though there are precedents for all of the complaints being said on every single goddamn opinion piece that I'm seeing right now, and there are many of them. There are precedents from the last 2 years, in some cases the dawn of the Biden presidency, that should have caused the same reaction. And the reaction was not there until literally now, and it's all at once like a tidal wave. It makes me suspicious that there is a larger setup going on. It's clear that the majority of Dems don't want Biden to run again. If you can stop Biden while doing damage to Trump, either forcing him down in the field or crippling him prior to a general election, well, I mean, I wonder why they would possibly want to do that now, right? Now, there's always a possibility that it blows over, of course, and Teflon Joe just sort of continues staggering his way through the next couple of years as a de facto lame duck because they don't control the House and they narrowly control the Senate, and his mind is going. He's appearing less and less frequently in public, just to be clear. But I sense some sort of shenanigans behind the scenes are afoot with some of these organizations, just to be clear. That's about all. Peace out.